Right folks, this is a unboxing and review video for the Erbauer 2100 watt half-inch plunge router. Bought this one because you might have seen the review for the Parkside one. The 1/4 inch wasn't substantial enough for what I want, which is I'm going to use it to put in kitchen worktops. This router costs £100 British from Screwfix, and it comes with a 2-year guarantee. If you look at the box, it tells you half-inch plunge router. It'll go up from 6mm to 12mm on the bits. It has a maximum cut depth of 60mm, which is over 2 inches, decent. It comes with 3 router bits, some collets, various attachments including a fence guide and some small guides for using with templates, and the spanner. So let's open up the box. So we open the box. And you can see it's a decent, sturdy, robust plastic carry case. So what we've got the instructions, the main body of the router, which you can see is a decent size. It's got the incremental depth, which you can adjust for your piece. It's got the locking mechanism, your on button and a lock, and it's got the bolts that tighten on the fence guide. It's also got different speeds. It's got 6 different speeds and an accurate depth measurement as well. Looking in the case, we've got a dust extractor attachment, the spanner, a couple of little accessories which I'll explain in a minute, the parallel fence guide, 2 template guides. One is a 16mm and one is a 30mm, which for use with jigs or predefined lines to cut across. And it also got this mat, non-slip mat. Great stuff, all handily within that carry case. These are the accessories in the bags. So you've got 3 different router bits with half-inch shank. These collets help to use smaller bits that go into the half-inch body of the router. These screws are for putting on the 2 template pieces in the bottom of the router to guide it along, and this piece fits onto this parallel fence guide so that you can use this to make circular cuts on your piece of wood. So decent amount of kit with this router. I like the fact that there's some wing nuts here that keep the templates and the parallel fence guide in place, and this mat tucks underneath so that when you're opening and closing the case you haven't got pieces falling everywhere. That's a nice little touch. Main body of the router then got obviously 2 handles, nice tactile grips, got the on off button with a lock to lock it in place. It obviously plunges up and down and then gets locked in place by this. At the top here you've got the air vent, It's got 6 different speeds that go from 11,500 RPM to 28,000 RPM, which is really useful. Got some fine adjustment rotating wheel and knob. Looking at the bottom of on the base of it, you've got a nice rounded base but with a straight edge for cutting a line. You've got the attachments for the guide fence to go in. So all in all, really nice. On the front here, you've got the depth stop and the scale that you can adjust, and then you've got, when you head down to this, the step buffer, so that you could, so for example, when I'm doing my worktop, I can set the depth of my worktop starting at 0 and stepping down in little increments to do each pass, so I can cut my worktop without taking too much wood away and get a nice smooth finish. The router's got a really long cable as well, which I believe is 3 meters long. When I cut my worktops, I'm going to be using this Trend 12.7mm worktop cutting bit, which actually cost £25 British and was a quarter of the price of the router, so I'm expecting good things. So this has got a tungsten carbide tip. It's razor sharp, to be fair, and I believe it's got a special coating to stop it overheating, because when you're routing, excess heat is your enemy. So obviously a lot more substantial than anything I was using on the Parkside 1/4 inch shank, so that should power through the worktop nice and cleanly with a bit of luck, fingers crossed. Okay, so to put the bit in, it goes through, there's the bit, and this needs to be untightened. So you press this lock in, which allows you to tighten and untighten it. So just untighten so the bit will fit in. There we are. And then just tighten it by hand with the red lock button pressed. So I get that as tight as I can. And that does feel solid, so now I get the spanner and just finish it off. Make sure that locks on. It wasn't on there. That's nice and tight now. And make sure I get it tight so it doesn't come winging off. That's good to go. And you can see that bit's nicely set up now. So all I will do is I will plunge to the full depth of my worktop width. Then once I've done that, I'll set my minimum distance with this. So for example, if I was to get that to 0 there on the top setting, so each time I turn this around, it allows the router to push down, and as you can see, the bit then sticks out the bottom. Do it that way, and then turn it another rotation, and it then allows more distance, as you can see, when it's locked, and do each pass that way. Right folks, before cutting the actual worktop that I want to cut, I've just got this bit of old worktop that I'm going to use as a test piece. I'm using one of these worktop cutting jigs, which I've put the router in, which has got the 30mm guide on underneath, and I've set the depth of the router bit to just go past the depth of the worktop, so that's in its maximum position now. The jig's all clamped on, so locking it on 1/2 inch. Okay, this is the result after the first pass. Okay, I'm going to put this step buffer down to 0 now, and change the height of the plunge. I'm really happy with that finish. That is excellent, straight as a die. So using a set square, you can see how tremendous that is. Lovely and straight, lovely nice machine finish on the top. Very pleased with that.